Hello there, and welcome to Banking Basics, the show about banking basics where I teach you the basics of banking. Now, no matter what you call it, cash, money, dosh, wonga, dineros, pounds, dollars, yen, yuan, you need it to survive. Simple as that. And if knowing a little bit more about banking could make your life a lot easier, why not learn? That's my aim, that's my goal. I'm Troll of them all, and thank you for tuning in. Let's go.
Get your finances under control with these banking basics. Here to help you, oh, it's Joe the Mo and his banking basics.
So today, guys, I'd like to talk about current accounts. A current account is essentially the backbone of your finances. It's where your wages would normally get paid into. It's where you'll normally pay money out of to pay people or to pay for things in shops or online. As well as that, it's where you can withdraw money from an ATM. So if you wanted access to your funds, put your debit card in, boop, money comes out once you put your PIN in and selected the amount that you want. Attached to your current account, you would normally have a debit card. Now, the debit card has a couple of different ways of using it. So the first of these being, take a card, pop it in a terminal, put your PIN in for security, and the transaction's allowed to go through. Second, you can use it contactlessly, so you give it a little tap, beep. Up to £30 can be spent in this way in any transaction, depending on your bank. I know certain banks let you use mobile wallets to do a little bit more if you sign in through their app, etc. There are some caveats to this that have recently been added. So with contactless transactions, there is a limit on what we call cumulative spending. So that's basically how many transactions and how much you spent in a row without making a chip and pin transaction. Make sense? Let's give you a little example. So if you use your card, £30 at a pop, and you did it 5 times, that would hit a lot of banks' cap of £150. What would then happen is next time you go to tap it, you go boop, it'll then say declined or error, please enter PIN. All you do to reset this, take a card, pop it in, stick the PIN in, take it out, that resets your counter. You can start using contactless again. Easy as that. Not a lot of people know that, believe it or not. Now, one thing about debit card transactions that people don't realise is that the money isn't taken from your account straight away. The way that it works is your card goes into the machine, 40 quid in Tesco's, boop, 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 send. What happens next is your bank receives that request, sees that you've entered your PIN and you've authorised it, and goes, it's a genuine transaction, buddy, we'll let that go through. What happens is it becomes a pending authorisation. What that basically means is they take that £40 to Tesco, they pin it off, they take it off your balance so you can no longer spend it, and in the next couple of days, Tesco get in touch with you and they take that money out. So if you ever look at your account and think, I should have 500 quid here, and it says I've only got 460 that I can spend, what's that about? Well, if you've just been to Tesco, or if you've been to Tesco in the past couple of days, chances are that's why. A lot of banks now are including your pending authorisations on their apps or their online banking, so you can see what's going on and go, I spent £40 at Tesco's, that's why. We can slow this process down. So if you make payments on Friday, Saturday or Sunday, Monday or Tuesday they'll normally come out, sometimes a bit later, can take a little while for the companies to take money out. But yeah, that's the reason for that disparity. So guys, let's rattle through the different types of current accounts you can get. Now this is not an exhaustive list. I don't know every single type, not in the slightest. There will be ones that are kind of specialist that you're unaware of. First one I'd like to cover is just your basic banking account, your basic current account. All it does is what it says in the tin. It doesn't cost you any money. You don't need to worry about it. You use it. You can possibly get an overdraft attached to it. Simple as that. Now there is a huge amount of different current accounts, and what one you use depends on what you need. So there'll be ones that are specifically for cashback. I personally do use one of these with a bank. What happens is I have all my bills paid out of that account. I then get a little bit of cash back on those bills paid into that account. Now that does come with a monthly fee, so do the maths. With anything in regards to this, sit down, do the maths, see how much it's going to cost you and how much money you're going to get back in cash back. If it turns out it's costing you a tenner a month and you're getting a £5 a month back, you're giving that bank £5. May not be a good idea to do it. However, if you can get it for £1 a month and you're getting £8 back, well, that's, that adds up. That's £7 in a year. That's 70, 14, 80, that's £84 in a year you're getting just for having your direct debits and your bills coming through that account. It makes sense. If it works for you, do it. Great. There are other accounts, so things like business current accounts, which are mainly used for businesses. Don't have a business, couldn't tell you any more about that. And I'm pretty sure there will be other accounts as well that I just don't know about. Again, guys, if you're in the market for it, do a quick Google, have a little look and go, okay, what's most important to you? Find something, base it on that. Easy. The next thing I'd like to discuss is checkbooks. Yes, they still exist. And it's not just your gran that uses them to send you 50 quid on your birthday or for Christmas. Big companies tend to use cheques to send out rebates, to send out money back to customers. The HMRC, if you ever due a tax rebate, they'll normally send you a wee cheque out in the post. Cheques can be a pain, depending on the bank you use and whether or not you've got a branch near you. It can take a little bit longer for them to get paid in. Normally what would happen with a cheque, or the way it used to work anyway before what we call cheque imaging come in, cheque, you pay it in at the bank go, thank you very much Mr. Troll them all, we'll get that paid into your account. They'd pop it in a wee envelope with a paying in slip, which has your sort code and account number in it. They'd post it off to a cheque clearing centre, I believe is the name of it. They'd go, okay, and they'd send it back to the original bank. So, for example, you are with TSB, you've got a cheque through for your gran who banks with Santander. That cheque comes to you, you hand it in at TSB, TSB send it to Santander who go, that's a genuine cheque, we'll pay that. Then the money's released to your account. This can take, I think it's 6 working days, sometimes longer, depending on the postman, depending on everything else. So cheques, usually not the quickest or the most secure way to make payments. But if your gran gives you it, you're not going to mourn, you're going to cash it, take the money. There has been some changes to cheques. Now we have what's called cheque imaging with a lot of banks. What cheque imaging is they've got machines that take a photo, you pop the cheque in, and take a little photo of it, and they send that off. A lot quicker, a lot easier than post. Same process, but it's normally the next working day that it gets paid. Saves you time, saves you a bit of hassle. So if you need the money quick, hand it in normally before 3:30 on a working day, and it'll show up the next working day. So unfortunately, if you put it in a Friday at 3 o'clock, you're probably not going to see that money until Monday, sadly. The next thing I'd like to touch on quite briefly is standing orders and direct debits, commonly referred to in the banking world as SODs. Okay, so all these are recurring payments that come from your account. Now these can be something that you have agreed with a company, a direct debit. They'll decide the amount and the exact date that it leaves. Standing orders are something that you decide the date and the amount and when it leaves and for how long. Simple as that. Standing orders you're in control of, direct debits they're in control of, but you have a bit of control, and we will discuss that in a future episode. The next topic I'd like to briefly touch upon is overdrafts. Now the reason that I'm going to do this briefly is because they are actually going to change very shortly. So today is I believe the 7th of March, and most banks are going to be changing them start of April. I'll explain briefly what it is, and later on I'll go through a full episode on them. All an overdraft is agreed borrowing between you and the bank. So if you've got what we call an arranged overdraft of £500, there's £500 there attached to your account you can use as and when you need it without having to ask the bank straight away, because you've already agreed it there and then. Now it's usually quite an expensive way to borrow money. So if you find you've got £3,000, £4,000 in an overdraft, consider other options. You could get a personal loan at a lower rate. You could go for, if you get a credit card already, you could have a cash transfer offer. Look at that, look at other ways of doing it. See if you can save yourself a bit of money. Even if it's a 3% drop in interest, that's 3% interest you're not giving to the bank. It's your money, you keep it, pay as little in interest as you can. Next on the agenda is the current account switch service. Now I'm just going to glaze over this product, as again it's got lots of wee nooks and crannies that are quite confusing that I'd rather cover in depth on a separate episode. To summarise it, the current account switch service lets you move your current account between banks. So if you see that there's a bank out there offering 100 quid for you to switch, You phone up the bank that you want to switch to, let them know, I'm quite interested in that 100 quid, what do I need to do to get it? And they'll go, I need to switch your current account. Terms and conditions will be different for every bank. You could need to move over a couple of direct debits as well. You might need to have a minimum amount coming into your account too. Do watch out for that. Double check with the providers. Make sure you meet the criteria, because if you don't, you won't get the money. Simple as that. As well as that, when switching accounts, pay attention to the kind of reviews, what customers say about them, how much bad press they've got. It's usually there for a reason. And that is it. I've covered everything I wanted to cover for current accounts. Quite a basic overview. It's non-exhaustive. What that means is I've not covered everything, and there is an absolute ton more I could go into. But I'm trying to keep these brief. I'm trying to keep these short chunks just to give you a little bit extra knowledge to help you manage your money a little bit better. Now, a couple of the subjects I did mention I'm going to go into in greater detail in other videos. Those things are overdrafts, standing orders, direct debits, and the current account switch service. If there is anything you heard me say that you didn't quite get, didn't quite understand, pop a wee message down below. Let me know, I'll get to it. And if it needs further clarification or a bit more of a detailed explanation, let me know. I'll pop a video up. All I'm trying to do is help people here, guys. Simple as that. So if you made it to the end of the video, thank you. Much appreciated. I hope you have an absolutely lovely day, evening or night, whatever you do. Thanks for your time. Peace.